Imagine being trapped in an endless nightmare with no escape and no hope, where every scream, every moment of agony is bound to a cold metal shell. This is the eternal torment of the animatronics at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, haunted by the souls of children, cursed to suffer forever. From its humble beginnings as an indie survival horror game to becoming a global phenomenon with a blockbuster movie adaptation, Five Nights at Freddy's, as fans call it, has grown into a multimedia franchise with deep lore, countless sequels, and a loyal fan base that continues to unravel its chilling mysteries. But what makes Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria so special? How did it manage to captivate millions of players worldwide? And what terrifying secrets lie within the haunted halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria? Buckle up, because today we're diving into the dark and twisted world of Five Nights at Freddy's, exploring its spine-chilling story, how to play the games in order, and whether we'll be seeing more horrifying adventures in the future. The story of Five Nights at Freddy's. At the heart of Five Nights at Freddy's lies a story drenched in mystery, horror, and tragedy. The main antagonist and the mastermind behind the horrifying events of the franchise is none other than William Afton, an entrepreneur, engineer, and twisted serial killer. William Afton co-founded Fazbear Entertainment and helped create Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, a seemingly innocent, family-friendly restaurant filled with animatronic mascots. But behind the happy facade, something sinister was brewing. In 1983, a tragic incident occurred. William's youngest son, Evan Afton, was fatally injured when his older brother and friends forced him too close to the mouth of an animatronic, leading to a horrifying accident. This traumatic event seemed to shatter William's mind, pushing him down a dark and twisted path. Now imagine the children, lured by a trusted adult, only to have their lives cruelly stolen from them. But instead of finding peace, their souls are forced into eternal anguish, trapped within the animatronics. Each night they wake, tormented by memories of their untimely deaths, driven by a desperate need for revenge. It's not just a game, it's a story of endless suffering. But what if William Afton never truly died? The man behind the murders has been presumed dead multiple times, but fans speculate that he may still be out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike again. Is there a darker force keeping him alive, or has he transcended death entirely? How to play Five Nights at Freddy's games in release order. The Five Nights at Freddy's series consists of 8 main games, with a 9th currently in development. While the core gameplay revolves around surviving against animatronic horrors, each game introduces new mechanics, locations, and deeper insights into the dark story. Here's how to play them in order of release. Number 1. Five Nights at Freddy's 2014. The game that started it all. Players take on the role of a night security guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, using security cameras and limited power to fend off deadly animatronics. Number 2. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 2014, a prequel introducing new animatronics and a lack of security doors, making survival even more intense. Number 3. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 2015, set 30 years after the closure of Freddy's, players face a terrifying new enemy. Springtrap, the reanimated corpse of William Afton trapped inside an animatronic suit. Number 4. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 2015. A psychological horror game where players experience nightmares as a child, defending themselves from animatronic horrors in their bedroom. Number 5. Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location 2016. Introducing a new underground facility, players must complete various tasks while evading advanced and deadly animatronics like Circus Baby. Number 6. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator 2017. A seemingly fun restaurant management sim that quickly devolves into another terrifying survival experience. Number 7. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2019. A VR adaptation of the FNaF series, bringing the horror to an entirely new level. Number 8. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach 2021. The most ambitious installment yet, allowing players to freely explore a massive entertainment complex while evading threats. With these games, players have slowly uncovered the sinister truth behind Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton, and the vengeful spirits trapped within the animatronics. But the story isn't told in chronological order, so how does it all piece together? How to play Five Nights at Freddy's games in chronological order. Unlike most game franchises, Five Nights at Freddy's doesn't follow a straightforward timeline. Instead, events jump back and forth across different time periods, adding layers of mystery and complexity to the story. If you want to experience the story as it unfolds chronologically, here's the correct order. Number 1. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 1983, the earliest game in the timeline, showing the traumatic event that led to William Afton's descent into madness. Number 2. Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location, late 1980s, early 1990s, takes place after Afton has begun his gruesome experiments with animatronics. Number 3. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, 1987. The infamous Bite of 87 incident occurs, leading to the shutdown of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Number 4. Five Nights at Freddy's 1993. Players experience the original FNaF game set years after the restaurant has reopened and closed again. Number 5. Five Nights at Freddy's 3, 2023. A horror attraction based on Freddy's legacy is built, but it doesn't go as planned when Springtrap returns. Number 6. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, late 2020s. The final showdown where players work to shut down Fazbear Entertainment for good. Number 7. Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted, 2020s, 2030s. A VR experience created to clear Fazbear Entertainment's reputation, but things take a darker turn. Number 8. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Future Era, the latest game in the series, set in a massive Freddy-themed megaplex. But what if the animatronics aren't the only things to fear? Some fans believe the real terror lies in the unseen. William Afton's influence may stretch beyond death, and the true horrors of the FNaF universe might still be waiting to reveal themselves. How scary is Five Nights at Freddy's? One of the biggest questions parents and younger players ask is, how scary is Five Nights at Freddy's? The answer depends on the game. The original FNaF titles are built on suspense, tension, and terrifying jump scares. The animatronics move unpredictably, and the feeling of helplessness, being unable to fight back, adds to the horror. However, later titles like Security Breach offer a more action-oriented experience, making them slightly less terrifying but still intense. The franchise is generally rated T for teen, meaning it's recommended for players aged 13 and up. While there's no graphic violence, the unsettling atmosphere, creepy animatronics, and dark themes involving missing children and haunted robots may not be suitable for younger audiences. Think about the sheer horror of being trapped, not just physically, but spiritually. Imagine the children lured into the backrooms by the Purple Man, their lives taken too soon. Their souls, instead of finding peace, are bound to the cold, metallic shells of animatronics, forced to relive their trauma night after night. It's not just a game of survival, it's a story of eternal suffering. Could you survive knowing that you are up against not just machines, but spirits of the tormented, desperate for revenge? Will there be another Five Nights at Freddy's game? Since Security Breach was released in 2021, fans have been eagerly waiting for the next big installment. While no official announcements have been made, the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise isn't showing any signs of slowing down. In fact, Steel Wool Studios, the developers behind Security Breach, have hinted at future projects within the FNaF universe. One confirmed upcoming title is Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted 2, a sequel to the VR game that will take horror immersion to the next level. Rumors also suggest that Scott Cawthon may be working on new stories that could lead to another main series game. With the franchise's massive success, it's only a matter of time before we see another terrifying entry in the Five Nights at Freddy's saga. And let's not forget the biggest unanswered question of all, is William Afton still alive? Theories have swirled for years suggesting that his spirit may have transcended the physical world. After all, can a man who's caused so much suffering ever really die? The Five Nights at Freddy's movie. After years of speculation, delays, and development struggles, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie finally became a reality in 2023. Produced by Blumhouse, the film adaptation brought the horrors of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria to the big screen, starring Josh Hutcherson as the security guard, Mike Schmidt, and Matthew Lillard as the sinister William Afton. At the core of Five Nights at Freddy's is a sinister and unresolved question. Is William Afton still alive? The man behind the chaos, the murderer known as the Purple Man, has seemingly met his end multiple times, yet his presence lingers in the shadows. Some fans speculate that his story isn't over. Far from it. Could Afton return in an even more terrifying form, or has he transcended death entirely? Theories abound, especially after Security Breach, where new clues hint at the possibility of Afton's survival. And what about the next major villain? FNaF's lore has introduced us to horrifying animatronics, but many believe there's something worse coming. Could we see a villain even deadlier than Afton? A figure perhaps tied to the twisted experiments at Sister Location? Fan theories suggest a new breed of animatronic that not only haunts, but actively seeks out and consumes souls. With every new game, we've seen deadlier animatronics and deeper horrors. But is there something even more sinister on the horizon? Could the next villain be tied to the experiments at Sister Location? And will they make Afton's evil look mild in comparison? Why has Five Nights at Freddy's remained so popular? Few indie horror games achieve the level of mainstream success that Five Nights at Freddy's has. But what makes this series so special? Deep and mysterious lore. Unlike many horror games, FNaF doesn't just rely on scares. The franchise's story is filled with cryptic clues, hidden messages, and unsolved mysteries, keeping fans engaged and theorizing for years. A unique approach to horror. The gameplay mechanics of FNaF are unlike anything else in the horror genre.
I always come back.
The reliance on security cameras, resource management, and survival strategy creates a tense experience that's different from traditional horror games. A dedicated fan community, from YouTube content creators like Markiplier to dedicated Reddit theorists, FNaF has built a passionate and creative community. Fan-made animations, theories, and even unofficial games keep the franchise alive. Frequent new content, whether it's new games, books, or movie adaptations, FNaF continuously evolves, introducing new elements while staying true to its original eerie charm. From its humble indie beginnings to becoming a global horror sensation, Five Nights at Freddy's has cemented its place in gaming history. Whether you're a longtime fan who has followed the series since 2014 or a newcomer just stepping into Freddy Fazbear's haunted pizzeria, there's no denying the impact this franchise has had on the horror gaming genre. But one thing remains certain: FNaF is far from over. With more games, possible movie sequels, and endless lore still waiting to be uncovered, the nightmare of Freddy Fazbear will continue haunting us for years to come. What do you think about the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise? Have you played all the games, or do you have a favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more gaming content. Until next time, keep your doors locked, check your cameras, and whatever you do, don't let the animatronics in.